Simplicity pattern 2613 as the base for this project. I got this pattern at Joann's and it is still available today. I'm going to cut out the 2 pattern pieces that are labeled for the cat, which are pattern piece 9 and 7. For my Jiji Cat, I want him to have exaggerated ears as well as an exaggerated tail. I'm going over to some scrap paper. I'm going to outline the tail a lot longer as well as giving him much bigger ears. When I was at Joann's, I grabbed a bunch of remnant material, including this Chan Black So Lush material. It's super soft and I thought would be absolutely perfect for this project versus just using normal fleece. If you're a beginner, definitely just use normal fleece. This material is absolutely beautiful as a cat and I love the final product, but this stuff is so hard to work with because it's extremely slippery when you're sewing and it also sheds literally everywhere. I'm going to start by cutting out 2 pattern pieces of piece 9. It doesn't matter if you do pattern piece 9 or 7 first. You just want to make sure that you cut 2 of each and make sure that they are mirror images of each other. The easiest way to do this is just to fold your material in half and then cut out 2 pattern pieces. I normally like to start with my rotary cutter on these and then go back with the scissors because often I can't get everywhere with the rotary cutter. Next, I'm also going to cut out 2 ear pattern pieces. You just need 2 of the black pieces. I'm then going to take some of the purple fleece, which is going to be the inside of the ears, and I'm going to cut around the ear pattern. This is going to be the inside of his ears. Jiji has signature purple ears. Next, I'm going to take the black and the purple of each ear, and if your material has a wrong side, make sure that you're sewing them right sides together. I don't think fleece particularly has a right or wrong side, but you're going to just sew them together with a straight stitch, cut off any excess material, and then flip it the correct way. Next, you're going to come back to pattern piece 7, and I'm actually pinning this incorrectly. I'm going to highlight in white where you are supposed to pin him. You're supposed to pin him on the back and not on his legs. Then you're going to do a straight stitch across, and when you open it up, this is going to be the front of your Jiji plush. I'm then going to grab some of my white fleece and I'm going to cut out his big circular eyes. The good part about fleece is that it doesn't fray, so you don't have to turn under this material or finish it. You can just do a simple stitch all the way around his eye and that will hold them in place. For Jiji, I decided to sew his eyes on using my sewing machine. Oftentimes now I will just hand sew the eyes on. It's a lot easier and you end up getting a cuter effect. So I would definitely recommend just hand sewing versus trying to weave this in and out of your sewing machine. Next, I'm going to move back to pattern piece 9 and I'm going to pin in place all up the back of his tail and also around his head for where I want to sew. You want to leave a gap open in his back and the bottom of his tail. That way you can flip him inside out. And also you want to leave some section on his tail so that you can stuff his tail. Since I added on to it, that part became extremely difficult. So I had to leave a bigger gap on his tail. Next, for Jiji's signature purple ears, I'm going to fold a little portion of his ear inward to give it some shape and dimension. I've also added a little bit of stuffing into each ear just to give it a little bit of poof. I'm pinning these down and I'm going to do a basting stitch on our front pattern piece just because these are really difficult to work with, and also again this material is so slippery. In this clip you can see that I'm putting the front and back pattern pieces together, right sides together. His ears actually need to be on the inside of this so that when you flip it inside out, the ears will be poking out. I'm not sure if I repin them later or if I had to unstitch these. Not sure what's going on here, but make sure that you can't see his ears when you go to sew this together. But I'm going to do a straight stitch all the way around him. And then when I'm done, I'm just going to cut off any of the extra material so that way none of the seams are super thick. I'm then going to take some batting from my $3 Walmart pillow. That is my jam for batting. And because it's a pillow, that will ensure that your plushie is nice and soft. And I'm just going to take little chunks of the batting and stuff him in there to make him nice and full. Oh, isn't he cute now that he can stand? Now for the big opening in the back, I'm just gonna take some black thread and I'm gonna hand stitch this close, making sure that I fold in the raw edges so that is all locked in nice and tight, and again, so it won't shed everywhere. I forgot to include this in the original filming, but I did find just a random button in my button jar and I sewed a little nose on him.